the Rwandan genocide, the rise of the M23 rebellion, and the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, are deeply intertwined events shaped by a complex history of ethnic tensions, colonial legacies, and geopolitical interests. This narrative aims to explore these events in detail. The roots of the Rwandan genocide can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries during colonial rule. The German and later Belgian colonizers exacerbated ethnic divisions between the Hutu and Tutsi populations. The Belgians favored the Tutsi minority, granting them better access to education and political power, while the Hutu majority faced discrimination and marginalization. This favoritism sowed deep-seated resentment among the Hutus. The road to genocide. By the late 20th century, tensions had escalated dramatically. After Rwanda gained independence in 1962, Hutu-led governments began to oppress the Tutsi population, leading to cycles of violence. In 1990, the Rwandan Patriotic Front, RPF, mainly composed of Tutsi exiles, invaded Rwanda from Uganda, sparking a civil war. The conflict intensified in the early 1990s, with the Rwandan government and Hutu extremists increasingly using propaganda to dehumanize the Tutsi population. The genocide of 1994. In April 1994, the situation reached a horrifying climax. Following the assassination of Rwandan President Juvenal Habyarimana when his plane was shot down, extremist Hutu factions launched a systematic campaign to exterminate the Tutsi population. Over the course of approximately 100 days, an estimated 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus were killed in a brutal genocide. The international community largely failed to intervene, despite clear warnings and evidence of mass killings. The United Nations had a peacekeeping force in Rwanda, but it was severely limited in mandate and resources. The genocide ended in July 1994, when the ERPF seized control of the country, leading to a mass exodus of Hutus, many of whom fled to neighboring countries, including the DRC. Aftermath and the Congo conflict, refugee crisis, and the rise of M23. The aftermath of the genocide had severe repercussions for the region. Millions of Hutu refugees poured into eastern Zaire, now the DRC, creating a humanitarian crisis. Among them were many members of the Interahamwe militia responsible for the genocide. The instability led to the First Congo War, 1996 to 1997, which resulted in the overthrow of Zaire's longtime dictator, Mobutu Sese Seko, and brought Laurent Desire Kabila to power. However, Kabila's regime struggled to maintain control, and tensions persisted between different ethnic groups, as well as with neighboring Rwanda. In 1998, the Second Congo War erupted, drawing in multiple African nations and resulting in millions of deaths, mostly from disease and starvation rather than direct violence. Amidst this chaos, the M23, March 23 movement emerged in 2012, claiming to represent the interests of Tutsi communities in eastern Congo. It was named after a failed peace agreement signed on March 23, 2009, between the Congolese government and a previous Tutsi-led rebellion, the National Congress for the Defense of the People, CNDP. The M23 accused the Congolese government of failing to implement the agreement and sought to address grievances related to security and political representation. The cycle of violence. The M23 rebellion was marked by brutal fighting, human rights abuses, and an influx of Rwandan support for the group, which further complicated the conflict. The Congolese army struggled to combat the M23, and the situation in eastern DRC became increasingly dire, with widespread displacement and violence against civilians. International response to the M23 and the broader conflict in the DRC has been mixed. While some countries and organizations have called for accountability and peace, geopolitical interests, resource exploitation, and historical grievances have fueled the conflict. The DRC is rich in natural resources, including minerals like coltan and gold, which have attracted foreign investment but also exacerbated local conflicts. Current situation and legacy. As of 2025, the DRC remains embroiled in conflict, with various armed groups operating in the eastern regions, including remnants of the M23 and other militias. The humanitarian situation is dire, with millions displaced and in need of assistance. The legacy of the Rwandan genocide continues to cast a long shadow over the region as ethnic tensions, historical grievances, and the struggles for power and resources persist. The international community faces ongoing challenges in addressing the root causes of these conflicts, promoting reconciliation, and ensuring accountability for past atrocities. The stories of the victims and survivors of the genocide and the ongoing violence in the DRC serve as powerful reminders of the need for vigilance, understanding, and collective action to prevent such tragedies from occurring again. In conclusion, the Rwandan genocide and the subsequent conflicts in the DRC are stark reminders of the consequences of hatred, division, and the failure of the international community to act. Understanding this complex history is essential for fostering peace and reconciliation in a region still grappling with the aftermath of violence and loss. Efforts to address these issues must focus on promoting dialogue, justice, and sustainable development to build a more peaceful future for all. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.